Hey guys, and how are you all doing tonight? I hope that you are doing absolutely wonderful as usual. Tonight is going to be War Stories, Part 4. Part 4! That is insane to me. It's more than I could have ever hoped for. And I really hope that you guys have enjoyed this journey with me. I have to tell you, when I first started my YouTube, I really just wanted to, help some other people that were like me and maybe get some sleep and, not hate life so much. And now, I honestly feel like maybe I can help more people, and that's just to be honest, that's all I've ever wanted. That's all I've ever wanted. So obviously this is a patron video. This would never make it on YouTube. I would totally get banned or disowned or whatever they do on YouTube. I hear it's bad, but it's never happened to me, so. Okay, so in 2013, I was dating this guy, and he's my ex. You have heard him talked about, referred to in a previous War Stories video. He is the ex that I dated that I became a mule for. Because I loved him so much and I moved drugs for him, and it was just a grand old relationship. Anyway, that happened. I was with him at this time. So you have to remember, I am a mule here, and we are making trips, day trips, that are 2 hours up, an hour up there, and an hour back. And, as much as I wasn't okay with that, but, I got used to that. It became very much the norm. That's what we would do. I became the norm. But occasionally he would decide he would get these wild hairs up his asses, or up his ass, not asses. He did not have plural asses. But he would get this wild hair up his ass and decide that we needed to go to Detroit. Either the person that he went to in Columbus was not available or not up to par. Either way, it meant I had to ride to Columbus. Or I had to ride to Detroit, I'm sorry. Detroit is a 6-hour ride. We did not take the 6-hour ride in a Cadillac like he had. We took this 6-hour ride in a carpet cleaning van. And the reason we took a ride in the carpet cleaning van is because that was basically he had a carpet cleaning business that was basically his front for his money, where his money came from. It wasn't really to the point where it was laundering money at this point, because it was brand new, he was fresh out of prison, but it was just kind of masking the money that he was making through selling drugs. So anyway, he wanted to take the carpet cleaning van up there, because who's going to pull over a carpet cleaning van and who is going to search a carpet cleaning van? So for 6 hours, I ride in a carpet cleaning van up to Detroit. We get there, And another thing that you need to know, because this greatly affects my mood, he would never let me bring like my paraphernalia on the road with me. He would never let me bring like my needle, my spoon, my tie off, he would never let me bring any of that. So I was super anxious when we got to Detroit. I wanted to like get to the hotel room, and I wanted to get there, and I wanted to feel better. So I'm rushing things along at the best of my ability. So we go to this hotel, and like the shittiest part of Detroit that looks like it it was so bad. It was so bad. And so we go in to get a room, and the guy is like behind bulletproof glass. And so we get our room. We go upstairs, and at this point, I am like getting very antsy. Like, where is this guy? Like, he needs to get here. I need to get, well. So eventually, this guy, well, let me back up. This place is very, very ghetto. Like, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. I feel like I've been some shitty, grimy, ghetto, gross places. This place is bad. And, like, he is starting to have second thoughts. I can tell. I can tell. Like, and he's like, well, if so-and-so comes here and, like, he has a gun, just get up and walk out. What do you mean, just get up and walk out? What the fuck makes you think he's gonna let me get up and walk out if dude has a gun? I was just so, like, he had me paranoid at this point. I was paranoid. So, dude gets there. Luckily, dude is not a psycho. And, he gives me what I need. And I go to the bathroom. And I'm happy, and I'm doing my thing, and then I'm like, there's a problem. So I can't, the stuff that he gave us was such bad quality that like it wouldn't even work in the point that I had. Like it was so thick that it wasn't like able to be drawn up. And I was so pissed at this point because I only had this one needle and it was ruined. And I threw it, and I cussed at my ex, and I cussed at the dude, and I told them both fuck them and, you know, where they could go. And I was just like, I was so upset at this point because I figured that I was going to be sick in Detroit all night and that this was going to be like a terrible night. Like, I was convinced that this was going to be a fucking shitty night. So, anyway, and another thing is, when he came, he didn't bring the van. Like, he didn't even bring the van that, like, my ex wanted to look at. That was the entire point of, like, us. It just seemed so sketchy to me, and I didn't like it. It was weird. So, anyway, he leaves, and I'm like, okay, well, we're definitely fucked now, you know what I mean? Like, he's definitely not coming back. Like, why would he? So, about an hour goes by, and we hear this, like, at the door, and, like, we look at each other, and we're like, there's no way. And we open the door, and it's him. He came back. He came back. And he had different stuff, and he had new points for me. Still didn't bring the van. So I go to the bathroom and I do it, and it's much better, but it's not great. And so I come out of the bathroom, and my ex asked me, he's like, how is it? And so I tell him the truth. I say, it's not bad. You know, it's not bad. I said, but it's the same quality that we could get in Portsmouth. And we just drove from Portsmouth to Detroit for better quality. And And he's like, you're right. So he takes the bag, ties it up, and gives it back to Dude. He's like, sorry, bro. I don't want it. He's like, bring the van by when you get a chance. Like, I'll look at the van. Like, I will buy the van. The look on this man's face was like, it was priceless. So, Dude leaves. And at this point, I'm beyond sure that he's gone. He's not coming back. Like, why would he? He has no reason to come back. Like, he's done with us at this point. I would be done with us at this point. We are just, like, so hard to please. At this point, I'm 100% sure that this dude is gone and he's not coming back. And we're stuck for the night. So the night goes on. We go to the liquor store. We get a little drunk. We get a little crazy. We do our thing. Then we, pass out. So time goes by and it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. And we hear at the motherfucking door. And I told my ex, I was like, this is either your dude or this is the cops. And so he gets up and he looks out the window and it's Dude. And at this point he's mad and he opens the door and he's like, what, dude? And he's like, you want to try this? Like, And I brought the van. So at this point, he said the magic words, I brought the van. So my ex puts his pants on, puts his shirt on, and he's like, I'm ready. I'm ready to go look at the van. So he goes downstairs. He's looking at the van. He likes it. So I'm standing there watching my ex look at this van. And the dude that brought the van is standing next to me. And he says, he hands me a little baggie, like half a gram. He goes, here is a little bit of that new stuff that I gave your ex. If you want to try it and let me know how it is. And I was like, okay, cool. So I put it in my pocket. And then the more I started thinking about it, the more fishy it was to me. That instead of just letting my ex get me what I needed out of the pack, he gave me something separate from the pack. And I was just like, that's fishy. So anyway, he gets done looking at the van and we go inside. And I call my ex in the bathroom and I'm like, listen, he gave me this, he's trying to get me to try this instead of what he gave you. And my ex is like, no, fuck that. So he gets out what he gave him and lets me try it out of that. And it's actually really, really good. There was no complaints on my part whatsoever. So at that point, my ex pays him and he doesn't end up buying the van. Whatever. So we go home. It's over. Trip's over. So we go home and we get back to the hotel. We weigh it, cut it, bag it, and then it is ready to go to the streets. So he's calling his people, getting ready to drop off the people. And he takes me home. Well, I decided to go to a family friend's house in Kentucky that night. Just because I like to stay there sometimes. And I went there and I stayed the night, and that night I was fine. It didn't really cross my mind, but the next morning, I didn't have anything. I didn't have any dope. And at that point, if I didn't do anything, about every like 6 hours, I was looking at withdrawal symptoms, like starting. So I was like, I need to find something, and I need to find something quickly. So I remembered, I was like, I have that shit that what's his face gave me that was supposed to be the half, and I figured it was better, or that was supposed to be out of the new pack that, he gave my ex. And I said, you know what, I bet it's probably a little bit better. It's probably hits a little bit harder, you know what I mean? Like, he's probably just trying to, like, sweeten the pot a little bit and make me think that it's better than it is. So I go to do it, and I do a very small amount. I'm in the bathroom at my family member's house now. Now he realizes that I do drugs, but it's not ever in his face. It's not something that, like, he sees. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, like, I go to the bathroom and I do my thing, and I come out and I decide I'm gonna make breakfast. So I get out the eggs, I get out the milk, I get out the butter, like, I'm just getting things out. And so I get out the pan, and I turn on the burner, and I set the pan on the burner that is off. And that is honestly the last memory that I have. Apparently, at some point, I fell, and I fell onto the burner, which is why I have this lovely, lovely scar right here. Right here. Because I took a nap on the burner on fentanyl. That was the first time that I ever did fentanyl. Like, I didn't realize I didn't know what I had. But I had fentanyl for the first time, and, like, it literally almost killed me. Like, I fell asleep on the burner. I slid off the burner. I fell onto the floor, like, slammed my head off the cabinet as I fell onto the floor. None of that woke me up. What woke me up was my family member coming in there, like, hey, are you okay? And I remember waking up, and I kept saying, like, I'm sick, because I couldn't think of anything else to say. So I go to the back bedroom, and, like, I can feel just, like, a liquid running down my face, and I'm like, ew. So, but I'm so tired that I can't even, like, keep my eyes open. Like, I'm, like, constantly fading. So I lay down on the bed, and I lay a t-shirt across my face to, like, cover up any, like, gunk dripping down, because it was getting all in my hair right here. And I fell asleep. And when I woke up, my entire face on this side, it was completely swollen. And there was a big scab right here of just burn. It was just burn. And the liquid was the juicy, burny shit that comes out of your face when you burn it. My face was completely swollen. It was swollen from about here to about this area here, and it just looked so bad. I was so embarrassed. Like, what do you tell people? I fell asleep on the stove, okay? Like, I'm a dope head. Like, what do you tell people? It was such a bad experience for me. And yeah, so that's that. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. And yeah, this isn't over. The video's not over. Don't get excited, but I will be back with another story. I'm not sure what yet, but I'm gonna eat, and then I will be back with another story. And we're back with some very crazy noise going on outside. I'm not quite sure what it is. It could be the aliens landing. It could be my mothership coming for me. I'm not sure. Or it could be a snow truck. I fell asleep and I drooled in my hair a little. Okay, so we're back to war stories. Dumb shit I did. So I was not going to tell you all this war stories. It was never going to leave my mouth. I was going to die with me. And that is until I saw that the statute of limitations was up. And I was like, yes, they can't indict me anymore. So, let me tell you guys about the time we had the literal COs of the jail handing us drugs without knowing it. It's so, and it was either in 2013 or in 2014. One of the two. Actually, I just completely lied to you. It was in 2012. I know this because my son was 2. So, anyway, and he was 2 in October. So, it had to be in 2012. So, anyway, it was 2012. And I was in jail, and I had been in jail for about 4 days. And 4 days of jail sucks to absolutely anybody. But for me, it was extra painful because, as you can probably guess, I was going through withdrawals. Let me scoot over a little bit so I block that light. Oops. You guys can see my ring lights in the mirror. I would rather you see, like, that junk over there. Well, I mean, that's literally my dresser that I never clean off, as you can tell, and my closet. And then I have so many shoe boxes and shit, like, piled up. Anyway, I was in jail, and I was unhappy about it, and I was sick, and I wanted to go home, and they wouldn't let me out. So, like, my 5th day there, this girl comes in, and we're gonna call this girl Brittany for all intents and purposes. Now, Brittany was kind of like me. She was smart, she was capable, but she was a drug addict. Like, being a drug addict was her downfall. She didn't come from the streets. She didn't come from, like, you know what I mean? She was a drug addict. So she came in. We immediately locked eyes. We had been locked up together plenty of times before. I walked up to her. She gave me a hug, and she was like, hey, we need to go to your cell. And I was like, right this way. Because I knew what that meant. I knew she had something. So she comes in my cell that I shared with my friend Marky, who, Marky was someone I would consider an acquaintance, but her sister is someone that I consider a friend. And Marky was in the cell with us, and she's no longer with us, so that's her real name. And Brittany came in the cell, and she split the little bit of heroin that she had with me. And, like, it's very hard to describe what that's like to someone that's not an addict. It's like not having a drink for 4 days and then someone comes in with, like, your favorite drink ever. And I don't know if that's a good analogy, but, like, it's just, like, something that you crave with every ounce of your being. It's, like, such a natural, like, it's so ingrained in your physical and mental being that it is like any other bodily function to your body. It's like peeing, it's like sleeping, it's like, and then if you just don't have it, if you just yank it away, your body is in shock. Your body just doesn't know what to do. And then all of these crazy processes happen throughout your body, which, if you guys want me to discuss someday, like, what actual dope sickness is like, then, I mean, I don't care to do that, but it's not a pretty picture. But anyway, I was on day 4, and I was not doing well. And then she came in on day 5, and immediately, like, everything was better again. Everything was better again. And some cruel twist of fate, after she came in and I had gotten well, not like I had started to get better, and then I got high, and then I didn't get sick again. It was like it just went away. Like some cruel twist of, like, fuck you from the universe to yours truly. But anyway, so she had brought a little bit of stuff in. It was very tiny. It was gone in 10 minutes, and that was that. But something clicked in her and my head, and it was a mutual feeling. It was just like, at that moment, we decided that we were absolutely going to get more drugs in to the jail. We had no idea, like, how this was going to happen or anything like that, but, like, at that point, when we did the last bit of what she had, we knew in our minds that, like, we were going to get more. We were going to get more. So, thus began the planning. I have to say, the first idea was my brainchild, and it was genius. It was genius. Now, the thing is, before I share this little piece of information with you, this could still technically be done today. And I want to warn you that conveyance, in my state anyway, is an F5, which is 3 years to 5 years of your life for this drug. And believe me, I know when you're addicted, it's like, but I'm just saying, please do not go out and do this. Don't try this. I'm not glorifying this. This is like, it's so disgusting, like, the depths that my addiction took me over a certain period of time, and, like, how I didn't even see it, and how I thought I was still, it's just sick for me to, like, speak about and have to, like, think of. Anyway, we decided we were going to get more drugs. Well, old Brittany had just had surgery, and I can't remember what kind of surgery, but I want to say it was gallbladder surgery. And so she was on quite a few antibiotics from her doctor. So the protocol for getting medicine to an inmate is this. You get the medicine, like a person on the outside has to get the medicine, has to get it filled from a pharmacy or brought in, dropped off. It goes to the nurse, who is like, I think she's like a veterinarian. She's not human. She's not a people doctor. So anyway, she looks at the medicine and she decides if it's okay or if it's not okay. If it's okay, she puts it on in the med cart, and then bam, you get it that night. So we had to figure out a way to get money on the outside to get this money to Brittany's husband, and for Brittany's husband to get the prescriptions and make it look legit, enough for us to get them. So, like, I honestly didn't have much faith in this plan. This sounds like such a screwball plan. Like, yeah, we're just gonna throw this together and hope that it works. Like, it sounds like such a screwball plan, but y'all. So you have to remember I was an addict at the time. So I called the person that I knew I could get money off of. And I had this person go meet Brittany's husband and give him cash. So the first step is done. We've got the money. The second step is for Brittany's dumbass husband to go get the drugs, get the prescription, and put them together. And this is where I was sure it would fuck up, because it completely rested in this man's hands. We will call him Donald. It completely rested in Donald's hands whether or not it was going to work. Like, we didn't know. So, anyway, like, Donald gets the prescription and he realizes that, like, there's not that much dope, and there's a whole lot of pills. So he can't fill up all of these pills. Like, he just can't. It'd be too much. So he can only fill up a few of them. So that's what he does. He opens a few, dumps them out, and then fills them up with powder. If there were any rocks in the dope, he grinded them down. I have to say, Donald did an exemplary job. Like, he really did. He could have gotten us years, and he did, like, an exemplary job. So anyway, then he has to put the medicine back into the bottle, back into the bag that it came from the pharmacy, because remember, these are new prescriptions. These are not, like, prescriptions that she's had laying around the house. These have new dates on them. So he has to put them back in the bag, fold the bag back, and staple the bag directly where it was stapled before. And then he has to come to the jail and drop the bag off, wait for the nurse to go through the pills, put the pills on the med cart, and then bam, we would have our drugs. If everything goes off without a hitch. So the thing is, we have to stay off the phones, because the phones are recorded. Like, we can't be on the phone every 5 seconds. Like, did you get the money? Did you get the pills? Did you get the dope in the pills? Did you get the pills dropped off? Like, we can't do that because they can hear us. So We have to stay off the phone. Like, we literally just have to, like, bite our nails and be patient. So we're sitting there just like, and then med time comes and it's like 6:30 and they call her name and she gets up there and she has a new med and it's it fucking worked. And so we take it in to our cell and we open it and it's full of heroin. It was like, for me, it was like, I can't tell you how cocky I felt at that moment. For me, it was such a personal victory over the system. It was like, fuck you, you are handing me drugs. Like, fuck you. Me 1, you 0 as I'm sitting in jail. But whatever. As skewed as my view was, it really felt like such a fuck you to them. Like, I was so happy that we got it. I was like, yes, they're giving it to us. They're giving it to us, man. So this went on for quite some time, like a couple months. And eventually, we on the phone with Brittany's husband, she asked Donald, like, hey, how many of those were there? Just like in conversation. And he said 10. So once we got through 10, we knew they were done. There were no more. So the next idea was to do it with another antibiotic. So we did it once again. You guys, like, every time we did it, it was such a thrill at the same time. Like, it was such a, like, oh my God, like, if we get caught, we're going to prison. Like, I have a son, like, we're going to prison if we get caught. Like, and that's how much of a hold drugs have over you. And it's not even like, I wasn't even sure that I was gonna get high. This was just a chance. It was just a chance that, like, I could get to it. I was like, fuck it, take everything I have. So anyway, it came. We got it again. They did it again. They fucking handed them to us again. So we go through them. It takes another, like, month. We go through them. And we're like, there's this CO, and he's an older guy, and he's a little too flirty with me. He likes me for some reason, and I have to tell you, it was a little surprising because, like, I was in a cell with 3 other girls. Like, we were all kind of in this little scheme, and they were all, like, beautiful. And he, like, had it in for me. Like, he really liked me. So this guy really was not, he wasn't crooked. He didn't, like, do anything terrible or anything like that. He just didn't ask questions. Like, if I asked him for something, he would just get it for me. So I would ask him to get these antibiotics for us because I said, listen, I can't believe I said this. I said, listen, I don't want to be like, I'm embarrassed, but, like, we had sex, talking about me and another girl in the cell. I was like, we had sex, and, like, she gave me something, and, like, I've got to get rid of it. And she was like, yeah, I got it from the street. Oh my God, it was such a fucking desperate attempt. Like, it was clearly, like, but what did he do? He went and got the antibiotics for us and, like, gave us all 2 apiece. Like, here. No, but he did. He did. He completely fell for it. And then, like, I would do little, like, I would wear, like, these little short shorts and, like, talk to him and just flirt with him. And then, because we knew we were working on a scheme here, see, normally for a inmate to get whites, they have to order whites off the commissary unless they know an officer or someone above an officer, like the captain or someone like that, and they can get their whites dropped off and get their whites like handed to them. So it's kind of like a privilege. And to be honest, I always got that privilege because my mom happened to work with the captain's wife. And my mom would pack my whites, and he just knew that there were no drugs in the whites when they came from my mom. So I had that privilege. But my mom was not someone that I was willing to involve in this. So don't even go there. That's not where this story is going. So I knew that like getting whites in the jail was a thing. Like it was possible. Like it could be done. So I started working on him like, listen, I need some whites. Like I don't have any money. And the thing is like my books were stacked because my books were stacked. I had more money than I could spend. We could spend $60 twice a week, and I spent that, and I also spent money on other girls' books. So like I was spending more than the 60 a week, and I was complaining that like I didn't have any money to order new whites and like blah blah blah. And he was like, well, just have someone bring some whites down for you and drop them off and I'll get them to you. And I was like, thank you so much. So he didn't so much like help us, but like he just didn't ask questions. He was kind of like, he just kind of let me bat his eyes at him, and I totally manipulated him. You know what I mean? Like it was totally, I'm not saying like he did anything wrong, although he did, but like it was totally my doing. Like I totally did it to him. I would totally like batted my eyes like, I need some whites. I don't have any money. And he was like, okay, little girl. So anyway, then we had the same situation like with my Connect meeting Brittany's husband Donald getting the drugs and the whites. He also had to get the whites, so I had to pay for whites also. I had a sugar daddy at this time, so like it wasn't that big of a deal. So anyway, like we had these whites delivered to us at like 2 a.m. in the morning by Brittany's husband Donald, and like they gave them to us, and like we would be so excited about whites. And the thing is like we all had more than enough whites. We all ran around in white tees, like, which you weren't supposed to do. I drooled in my hair when I fell asleep, and it's like, it's so tangly. If you guys think my hair looks really silver today, it's because it is. It's got this like silver spray in it, but it'll come out. It's just like gives it a sheen, and I kind of liked it. But anyway, like he gives it to us, and like so we're so excited, and we take it upstairs and we like take it apart and we find it. We're like, you know, more excited than, it's ridiculous how excited we are. We're so excited. And so yeah, so we took to doing that for like a period of time. That was like our go-to. That was like our method. But like at some point, you know, eventually they're gonna get suspicious. Like, how many fucking whites do you possibly need? Like, there's 4 of us, but like you don't need like 12 sports bras, and you know, like you just don't need it. So we were kind of like out of things to say that we needed. So then came Brittany's foot problem. And it was like such a blessing to us in disguise, we thought. She, like, the shower's there. You never, ever, ever want to shower barefoot. Let me turn you guys just a little bit. You never want to shower barefoot. You always want to take your, like, county shoes to the shower and shower in them, because if you, oh my gosh, you can see the stuff on my nails. Can you see the silver stuff on my fingernails? My nails are like, shiny. It almost looks like I've been playing in like silver, fucking words, spray paint. But anyway, eventually we had enough whites, and it was just like, it wasn't gonna work anymore. And then Brittany started getting this weird, like, toe fungus from the shower, because the shower was disgusting. And she was like, I need some foot powder, like, this is ridiculous, like, blah, 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 blah. And the captain told her, tell your husband to bring some foot powder in, and I'll let you have it. So that was how we were going to do it this time. So we planned to do a big one, and we did, and like, it took so long. We thought something went wrong, like, we were so like on edge all day, and finally they brought it, and they just like handed it to us and left, and it was like the heavens had opened up. We were so excited. And that would be the last time that it would work, because Brittany ended up being allergic to something inside the foot powder. And she told them that, and apparently they thought that was kind of fishy. So when her husband brought the second foot powder that also had, dope in it, they found it, and they were like, these little bitches. So Friday goes by, nothing. Saturday goes by, nothing. Sunday, nothing. Monday comes, and they come and wake us up in our cell, and they're like, we're going to take a test. And we're like, okay. So they take us up front and they piss test us. And the thing is we were also getting Suboxone in the mail, which is like totally a bad idea now. Like, they got hip to that really quick. Really quick. We were also getting Suboxone in the mail at the time. So they piss tested us. And everybody passed but me. I failed for Suboxone. But we all lost, like, our commissary and our visits and shit like that. And wouldn't you fucking know it, rehab came to get me the next day. And it was like a terrible rehab. It was a rehab that I didn't want to go to. It was a rehab that was ran by, like, a girl that I knew from back in the day. Like, back in my shit. Back in the day. And, like, a girl that I didn't have a good past with. And she was, like, over it. And, like, I didn't want to go to her rehab. And it was, like, my only option. It was such a terrible... That was such a terrible experience. That rehab was such a piece of shit. And that's the rehab that I ended up leaving with my friend. I can't remember what I called her. But I ended up leaving with her, and we ended up, like, getting a ride to my drug dealer's house. Because I just, like, for one, like, I wasn't ready to get clean. And for two, like... that rehab, I hated it. I hated it so much. I hated every part of it. It was just, I hated it. So yeah. So that is War Story Part 2. And that is how I basically stayed high in the county jail for over 6 months. We're going to talk about mental health. So I hope you're ready. We're going to talk about some of the Hey guys, so this is the last of the war stories part 4, and this part is like kind of sad, but a bitch gets what she gets, okay? So I was like 19 at the time. I was freshly on drugs, freshly just had a miscarriage, like not doing well. Well, it had been like, let's see, it had been almost a year, but like it was still pretty fresh, you know what I mean? And like I just wasn't doing well. And I had this friend, and she was like, you know what, you should come with me to the city. Like all I have to do is like dance for these guys for like $100 an hour. And she's like, it's great money, they don't touch you, like it's nothing other than dancing, da 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 da. She was like, you would be so good at it, like whatever. She was like, you're so good with people. Like she totally like talked me up to the point where I was like, maybe she's right, maybe I would like make a killing at this. So my boyfriend at the time would have like never gone for that, obviously. So I didn't tell him the truth about why I was going up there. I told him I was going up there to do a robbery, which he was like totally okay with, but like he wasn't okay, but whatever. So I told him I was going up there to do a robbery with this girl, and he was like, and that we were like pretending to sell ourselves, and then we were gonna like take the dude for everything he was worth or some shit. And he was like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, good luck. like he was totally fine with that. And looking back, like, that's such a red flag. Like, if your dude is fine with you, like, putting yourself in, like, life-risking situations just because, like, he might get high at the end of it, like, maybe it's not the best relationship for you. These are just, like, tidbits of advice from me to you. So, anyway, my friend was like, yeah, you should totally come up here. Like, it's the best. And I was like, okay, fuck it. So I packed a bag and I rode up there with her and some random ass guys. Hold on just a second. Anyway, so yeah, we're in this like mangy hotel room, and she's like, this guy's gonna come in and he just wants like a massage and that's it. She's like, you don't have to get naked or anything like that. She's like, he's not gonna get naked. She's like, he's just gonna be in his underwear and lay on his stomach and he just wants a massage. And it was like, okay, I was young. Okay, like be gentle with me. I was young and naive and like I just didn't know. So anyway, this guy comes in and he undresses down to his underwear and he lays down on the bed and he like just like doesn't speak to us. And like first of all, I thought that was rude as fuck. Like you always speak to like, you know what I mean? Like you speak. That's fucked up. Like, if I'm getting my nails done, I speak to the lady. If I'm getting my hair done, if I'm getting a massage, I've never gotten a massage, but if I had, I would speak to the person. And I'm definitely never gotten a massage in, like, a shitty hotel room by, like, two girls that are very close to, like, underage. So anyway, we're like giving him a massage. And she's like, hey, why don't you go ahead and take your pants off? And I was like, I said, what? Like, immediately everything just kind of like made a straight line. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, I'm gonna take my pants off too. She was like, don't worry about it. Like, da 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 da. And I was like, are you fucking, like, are you high? Like, no, I'm not taking my pants off. And like, then he started to get upset. And he was like, you said that. My friend was like, no, she's just nervous. It's her first time. And he's like, yeah, like, everything's gonna be fine. Just take your pants off. And like, I was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. So I literally ran out of the hotel room. And I ran down to the office and I told the lady, like, listen, I came here with my friend and she's trying to make me have sex with this guy that, like, I don't want to have sex with. I was so young that, like, I can't believe that, like, I ran to, like, someone and told them what was going on. Because, like, as I got older, I would never do something like that. But, like, when I was young, I would, like, reach out for help to, like, someone, like, that I thought was like of authority. She was older than me, like she was the hotel manager. And I ran up to her and I was like, listen, my friend, she's trying to make me have sex with this guy. And she was like, honey, are you underage? And I was like, no, I'm not underage. Like, I don't want to have sex with this guy. Like, I want to leave. Like, I want a cab. Like, I want to get the fuck out of here. And like, she just was not giving a fuck. She was not giving a fuck. And like, we were on the shitty side of Columbus, and it was just like, so I started walking, and like, I didn't know what else to do. I started walking, and like, I was afraid that they were looking for me. Like, I don't know, like, if they were or not, but like, I was afraid they were looking for me. And like, I was just like constantly like looking over my shoulder and like jumping to see like every little noise, because I was just convinced that like they were gonna come around the corner and be like, get in the car. So I was walking, and eventually like I walked for like an hour, and I didn't know where to go really, because I was 2 hours from home. And shit, I'm sorry guys. And like, I mean, where do I go? Where do I go? Like, do I go to a hotel? Like, I didn't have an ID. Like, they wouldn't let me get a room. Like, I didn't know what to do. And this guy stopped me. And he was like, hey. And he wrote his window down. And I was like, listen, I'm not working. Because I knew I was in a shitty area of Columbus. And I was like, listen, I'm not working. Like, I was like crying at this point. Like, I had black tears, like, paste to my face. I was like, I'm not working, like, just leave me alone. He was like, I can see you're not working, obviously. He was like, are you okay? Like, are you in some trouble? And I was like, listen, I am 2 hours away from home, and my friend brought me up here and tried to, like, turn me out into some dude. And I just want to get home. And he was like, listen, you can use my phone, you can call whoever. And I was like, thank you. So I walked over to the car, and like, I was very like cautious. Like, I didn't want to get too close to the car, so like I kind of stepped over, and like he reached out his phone to me, and like I took his phone and I called my dad, because like I didn't know who else to call. And I called my dad, and I told my dad, like, dad, like, so-and-so fucking dumb bitch brought me to Columbus, and like she told me we were gonna make some money, and then like she got me in a hotel room with this guy and like tried to make me get naked, and like I just want to come home. And he was like, where are you? And I was like, Columbus. And he was like, okay, like just get somewhere, I'm on my way. So this dude took me to like a Dunkin' Donuts and sat there with me for like 2.5 hours until my dad got there. And like, this dude was cool as shit. Like, I still, like, to this day, like, I'll never forget him. Like, he could have, like, I was at a very, very vulnerable point, and sometimes, like, when people see other people at vulnerable points, they want to take advantage of them, and, like, I was at such a vulnerable point, and instead of, like, taking advantage of that and, like, saying, like, using that against me, he, like, totally just helped me. Like, totally just helped me, and, like, I will never forget that. So, that story actually had a happy ending. Although, I did end up beating that bitch up the next time that I saw her at McDonald's, and that is a very Portsmouth thing, but it happened. And if you know me and you see this video, you probably know who I'm talking about. Fuck that girl. And yeah, so, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. This is the end of War Stories. This has been over an hour of War Stories, so I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you guys later.